Diddy Kong has officially returned to the racetrack thanks to the Mario Kart 8 Booster Course Pass. It's so awesome to see him back, man, along with Funky Kong. But this got me thinking. Diddy had his own kart racer in the late 90s before joining Mario Kart. It was on the Nintendo 64, and it was known as Diddy Kong Racing.
Now, I didn't grow up with the N64, so I didn't get a chance to play this game as a kid. I did, however, play the DS remake, and I remember not liking it that much, despite beating it. So I have no nostalgia going into this, which is good. That allows me to be as unbiased as possible with this review. Many claim that this is one of the best kart racers ever, and after beating it 100%, I agree, this game is fucking awesome.
The game opens up with a sort of roll call of all the characters in the game, which is neat. Something I find interesting about DKR is that you pick your character before anything else. What never sat right with me, and still doesn't honestly, is the fact that aside from Diddy Kong, Banjo, and Conker, the other characters are unrecognizable. There's no Donkey Kong, no Tiny Kong, no Dixie Kong. The only Kong in this game is Diddy. Maybe this was a test by Rareware to see which characters would end up being popular enough to get their own games. So this game has a story, and it's actually the first kart racer to include one. The story is that Timber the Tiger invites Diddy and his friends to his island while his parents are on vacation for a fun race against each other. However, an evil space wizard named Wizpig attacks the island and takes over. So it is now up to Diddy and his friends to defeat Wizpig and take the island back. Your goal is to collect golden balloons all around the island. There are 4 on the island, while the remaining 43 are obtained in each world, along with the 3 challenge races against Taj, 1 per vehicle.
Hold up, per vehicle? Yes, in addition to the go-karts, we can also fly a plane and drive a hovercraft. That's pretty cool, and it also adds some variety.
Each track is locked behind a certain balloon threshold. The number you see is the amount of balloons you need. Each world consists of 4 tracks and a boss race. After winning a race on each track, you can race that world's boss on a new track. We have Tricky the Triceratops, Bluey the Walrus, Bubbler the Octopus, Smokey the Dragon, and Wizpig. After beating the boss, you then have to race the tracks again, only now you have 8 silver coins to collect. Get the coins and finish first for another balloon. Beating the boss again grants you a piece of the Wizpig amulet. Each world also contains a key hidden in one of the tracks. Once you collect the key, you'll unlock another door that leads to a battle arena. Here, you have to meet the objective before your opponents. Winning the battle grants you a piece of the TT amulet. This will also become important later on. Now, there is one last thing to do after beating the boss twice. Each world has a trophy race where you race all 4 tracks back to back, and try to obtain the most overall points to win the trophy. In each world's hub area, you'll see this freaky looking clock named TT, who won't stop staring at me. Drive up to him to check your progress and toggle time trial mode. Yes, you can do the time trials in adventure mode. That's a fucking godsend. If you can beat the track in a certain time, you can race TT's ghost. If you beat all of TT's time trials, you'll unlock him as a playable character. And you're gonna want to unlock him because he has the best stats in the game. Anyway, once you collect everything from Dino Domain, you do the same thing at each of the other 4 worlds. Once you have obtained every piece of the Wizpig amulet, you can challenge him to a race. One thing I neglected to mention is that these bosses are pretty tough. I even had to switch to Tip Top to even stand a chance against some of these guys. And Wizpig is no exception, although there is a way to beat him. This is a lifesaver for any race. When you approach a zipper, release the A button. Doing this will give you a green boost, which is more speed than a normal boost. You can even do this with the boost power-up. Speaking of power-ups, they're not random in this game. You can collect a certain power-up from one of 5 balloons. Red gives you a missile, blue gives you a boost, yellow gives you a shield, green gives you an oil slick, and rainbow gives you a magnet to bring yourself closer to an opponent. What's unique about this game is that collecting another balloon allows you to upgrade your power-up. I like to go for 2 blue balloons to get a pretty big boost, coupled with letting go of A before I use it, and I go zooming. So, using everything I learned up to that point, I managed to beat Wizpig on my first attempt. After defeating him, it turns out you didn't defeat him. Then you get to watch the credits that end with text that says the end with a question mark followed by a cheat code. Oh, by the way, did you know that if you use a cheat code to view the credits, the game actually scolds you for doing so? It will tell you that there's no cheat code to offer you.
Oh yeah, this game has cheat codes, or magic codes, as they're called. I'll get back to those later.
If you collected every trophy, you can turn the lighthouse into a rocket ship and blast off to the 5th and final world, Future Funland. Here you will find 4 more treacherous tracks to complete twice before unlocking the TT door, which allows you to race Wizpig again at a brand new track in space. I fucking hate this race. I hate it so goddamn much. It doesn't help that you're doing it in the plane. As far as controls go, the plane is the worst in my opinion. But after multiple attempts, I persevered, and eventually I managed to beat Wizpig for the 2nd time. And then Streamlabs crashed while I was recording the ending, so I had to restart my PC and do the race all fucking over again. I was not happy, but I did it. The game ends on a sort of cliffhanger with Wizpig's ship flying elsewhere. The credits even change the ending text to say "to be continued." After that, you get to check out the developers' times on each track. After this game, Rare announced a sequel at E3 2001 titled Donkey Kong Racing for the GameCube.
Man, I can't wait to see what that game has to offer. Fuck you!
Once you complete Adventure Mode, you can go through it all again in the new Adventure 2. This mode mirrors all the tracks and changes the locations of the silver coins. And the balloons are now silver. That's all that changes. And yes, this game does have multiplayer. You and up to 3 friends can race each other in any of the 20 tracks. You can even do one of the trophy races if you wanted to. You can also play the battle arenas and try to knock each other out. And then we have the magic codes. These are the game's cheat codes. You can change the balloons to a certain color, give yourself unlimited bananas, watch the credits early, and allow multiple players to pick the same character, to name a few. But my favorite is the one that allows you to enable 2-player adventure. This is fucking awesome. I like how it handles the boss races. Every time you restart, your partner tags in to give it a try, and vice versa. Now that is pretty neat. And that's not even getting into the soundtrack, which is really good. It was composed by David Wise, and every song in this game is a delight. I like how he took samples from Christmas songs for Walrus Cove and Frosty Village. Walrus Cove sounds a little like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. And Frosty Village sounds a bit like Winter Wonderland. Oh, and I also love the vocals in Hot Top Volcano. My personal favorite is Boulder Canyon. There are 3 different versions of the music that change depending on your location on the track. Fucking incredible. Diddy Kong Racing is fantastic. It's got 20 really good tracks, tough boss fights that can be beat with practice, variety with the different vehicles you can take control of, plenty of replayability with your friends, and it's blessed by David Wise's impeccable mastery. What more can I say? Diddy Kong Racing gets 8 out of 10. If the bosses weren't so challenging, especially the final boss, I would have given this game a 9. Still, this game is without a shadow of a doubt worth your time to see to the end. This is one of my favorite kart racers ever. It definitely lives up to the hype.
Now, will I check out the DS remake sometime? Probably not, because it sucked. And with that, we have 1 game left in the marathon. Now, I mentioned Diddy Kong Racing was one of my favorite kart racers, but it's not my all-time favorite. That honor goes to another game for the PlayStation, and we'll be talking about it next time. But for now, I need to take out my frustrations. And what better way to do that than with 3-on-3 NHL Arcade? Yeah, fuck you, bitch!